Hey guys, Sean here. Welcome to the F1 Word and to the latest of my post-season F1 rambles. A quick reminder that these are not reviews or reports, nothing like that, just me giving a few of my thoughts on how I think each team and driver got on in 2020, and today it's the turn of AlphaTauri. And what a year they've had as well, picking up a total of 107 points and even winning a race courtesy of Pierre Gasly at Monza. I didn't really know exactly what I was expecting from them this year, but I certainly thought they would be a lot closer to the likes of Alfa Romeo and Haas than they would be to Ferrari and Renault, for example. At one stage as well, it did look as though they were set to challenge Ferrari for 6th in the standings, but that wasn't quite meant to be this year. However, I'm pretty sure if you'd have said to Franz Tost at the start of this season they've finished just 24 points behind the Scuderia, he'd have ripped your arm off. Fantastic season, really impressed with them. I do think as well the team deserves a lot of credit for the way they've gone about things and for being able to really mix it with the midfield this year. However, with all due respect, as good as the team overall has been, one man drove the wheels off that car and excelled this year. Pierre Gasly was without doubt one of the shining lights of 2020, and I'd say one of the biggest surprises as well. Just forget that win for a second. He showed great speed, consistency, and even the aggression I felt he was lacking whilst racing for Red Bull to pull off some excellent results. He also pretty much wiped the floor with his teammate, winning 13-4 in qualifying and whilst being on average just over 4/10 quicker on a Saturday. What really impressed me about him in 2020 though was his character again. I said this last year, he really struggled to get up to speed in that Red Bull in 2019, and after being demoted to Toro Rosso as they were then, it would have been so easy for his head to drop and for his career to slowly peter out. But he showed it towards the back end of last season that he was up for the fight, and then this year he built on that further and has clearly impressed a lot of fans and indeed people up and down the paddock. If he can continue his current form or the form from 2020, he could well find himself moving up the grid in the near future. Without doubt though, the highest point of Gasly's season was that win at Monza. Okay, before people point it out, yes, there was a huge slice of luck involved when you consider Hamilton's penalty and being able to change tyres under the red flag. As I always say though, and you can say it with me, you have to be there to capitalise on that luck when it falls your way, and he was. But the fact of the matter is, whatever happened around him, he drove exceptionally well to fend off the charging Carlos Sainz, who was quicker towards the end of the race, and managed everything perfectly to snatch that emotional win. Like I say though, even without that win, he still had an incredibly strong season, and for me at least, he deserves a mention in the driver of the season argument despite appearing to tail off towards the end of the year. Perhaps he won't win it, but he should be given a huge amount of credit for everything he's achieved in 2020. As much as I'd love to though, I can't say it was a great year for Daniel Kvyat. It was, I suppose you could say, solid, and perhaps it's one of those situations where it looks a lot worse than it actually was because he was overshadowed by his teammate. As already touched on, he was well beaten by Gasly. Pierre's average qualifying result was 10.1, whereas Kvyat only managed 12.1. And in the races, the Russian's average finish was 10.5 versus Gasly's 8.2. Really, it wasn't even that close. It must be said, though, that Kvyat definitely improved towards the end of the season, out-qualifying his teammate at each of the final 2 races. And he was, to be fair, only 5 points worse off than in 2019, where he managed to pick up that surprise podium, of course. And we've had a shorter season this year, so it wasn't all bad. Even if you maybe could argue he was in a slightly better car this year, but being comfortably beaten by your teammate is never a good look. Do not mention Stoff, I will not thank you for it. Anyway, I like Kvyat, and I think he gets a lot of unfair stick. He's had his moments, don't get me wrong, but I do think he's a very quick guy with a lot still to offer. It just hasn't been a great year or a great way to sign off in F1. And I must say, I do find it almost baffling that despite being just 26 years old and having done a decent job for the most part, we're talking about the end of his career in Formula One for the second time. If I'm being honest, and sorry Kvyat fans, I don't think we'll see him back again, so I really hope he can find a seat racing somewhere in 2021, and good luck to him. But he's another driver I'll miss next year. Maybe I'm just a bit too soft, but anyway, overall, a seriously impressive season from the team as a whole, and they really have punched above their weight at times this year, and with 2021 being a transitional year, hopefully they're another team that can build on this and maybe challenge those ahead for a top 6 finish in the standings. And super quickly, I really am looking forward to seeing what Yuki Tsunoda can do in that car next year. He was so impressive in his rookie F2 season. And as much as I do like Kvyat, I think giving Tsunoda that chance is the right thing to do. That is it for this one, though. You can let me know your thoughts on AlphaTauri's season down in the comment section. But also, once again, how would you rate their season out of 10? Now, I will be back with some waffle on Ferrari's 2020 season soon, but in the meantime, don't forget that you can of course follow me over on social media, and all of the links you need for that are in the description down below. But as ever, thank you for watching. I've been Sean, this has been the F1 Word, and until next time, goodbye.